So yes, I understand that really happened to you when you were a young person, when you were a little being. The problem is that you're still believing that's the truth today. That somebody told you you weren't pretty, or you couldn't dance, or you weren't talented, or you weren't lovable, or you were too loud, or you were too much. You know, my whole life. And finally God said, thank God you're too much, because I need you to be too much in a church. Okay? Go figure. Go figure. I've been told my whole life to bring it way down, you know? Just bring it way down, you know? And I'm like, what? So a therapist friend of mine, he gave me this example that I thought was so good because I hadn't heard this before. And he said, you have to imagine that it's like there are, and I want you to know, this really got my attention. There are 2 cookie jars inside of you. And I was like, what, cookie jars? I have a huge cookie jar inside of me, I'm certain, you know. But he says there are 2 cookie jars, and the thing is, we are taught from the time we're very young, don't fill your own. That if you're a good person, you should be concerned with filling other people's cookie jar. Now, the problem with that is if you do that long enough, you're going to become resentful and angry and deprived and maybe depraved in the process, you know? Because the thing is, see, if I fill my own cookie jar, if I take responsibility to fill my own cookie jar with the kinds of cookies that I like, then there will always be an abundance of cookies, and the overflow I can offer to other people's cookie jars. See? When your cookie jar is full, the natural effect of that is that you want to be loving and serving and giving to other people. You want to show up as the presence of compassion, and you want to not be judgmental and all of those things. And it's easier. You know, it's a lot easier when you feel good about you to let other people off the hook. It's a lot easier to give other people a break when you like yourself. It's a lot easier to not be judgmental when you're of other people, when you're not judging yourself up one side and down the other. I mean, this is how the principle works. You keep your jar full. And then you have people in your life, and they say, wow, your jar is always full. I don't understand why. And you say, well, you know, I could share some things with you that might help you to fill your own jar, if you're interested. If you're interested. But if they're not interested, don't try to fill their jar, okay? You know, I think of it as like, you know, loving yourself and having good self-esteem is a learned skill. Now that we're big, we can say, okay, it's a learned skill. So it's like anything else. If you wanted to learn a craft or a hobby or to play an instrument, or you found yourself in a foreign land and suddenly you had to learn a new language, it would no longer serve you to go, oh, but I'm terrible at languages. I'm just not good at learning language. You're in a new land and your survival depends on learning the language. Do you think you could do it? Absolutely. I'm certain you could. I am absolutely certain, because Spirit in you has an infinite capacity to grow and expand and be more than it has ever been. But with a new skill, often you have to be the one who is determined. You know, you have to be determined. If you're still angry, you know, that you weren't taught to have good self-esteem, or you're still angry about this or that or this or that, I'm telling you, look, I just got to make it plain because we're getting to the end of the talk. It's a waste of time. It is a waste of time to be angry about what you didn't get. It is a waste of time to be angry about that people didn't contribute to your self-esteem. No good will come from it, and the longer you stay angry, you are just delaying the self-esteem that you so desperately need to enjoy the rest of your life. Really, this is how it works here, you know?